everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm really excited to hop on here. Really special project of transforming a historic firehouse here in Montclair, California, into a performing arts space for all of the community to enjoy. So, when I start a new project, my goal is to take a space that's forgotten or messy and shape it into something cohesive and compelling. In this case, I've been given an incredible opportunity, a blank slate full of creative freedom, and the chance to propose three unique design directions for stakeholders to choose from. Being very intentional about how I present ideas and realistic about how to get buy in at this early stage. Every project I design starts differently, but for me, it always begins with clarity, honoring a building's history while imagining its new chapter. I always start with what I call the groundwork, the research and inventory phase. This is where I geek out over the architecture, understand what's fixed, and identify opportunities. For the firehouse, we have a storybook style structure, charming as hell, but tight on space. The front steps will be refaced. The old garage doors will become an all glass wall. Inside, we'll need a stage, lighting, seating, a kitchenette, and a green room for performers. I reviewed the original plans and visited in person, although we were not, it was all boarded up, so I didn't get to go inside. But I learned what had to stay, like the firehouse doors and beams, and I learned the elements that could kind of evolve. From there, I dove into historical research. So this is the fun stuff where, my CSI investigating comes into play. So I'm looking up old Facebook posts, searches, finding old articles, um, even mentions of its copper roof that was later painted over, like these little like Easter eggs of like really cool historical details and occurrences that happened. These details root the design in reality. They make sure the end result doesn't feel like a quick flip, but an intentional evolution honoring the past while designing for the future. So this allows the design to be rooted in reality, right? Which is really nice. And I think you can tell when design and the history are kind of disjointed and there's that friction there where it doesn't feel natural and it feels very forced. And this is what I'm trying to avoid with this design. So, step one is gathering inspiration. Once the foundation is clear, I shift into inspiration mode. So, ideating, concepting, brainstorming, it's all the same. It's my favorite part. I start broad. So I'm pulling library books on glass art and storybook architecture. I'm scrolling through Pinterest and using AI tools for fun like word association or early concept language. I also love word mapping. So this is a throwback to my advertising school days where I free associate phrases for this project. Words like fire, ignite, hearth, community, and frame started to kind of form clusters that became early seeds for the design directions. At this stage, nothing is off limits. It's all about letting ideas flow without judgment and seeing what themes rise naturally and what sticks, right? After absorbing research and inspiration, I distill everything into distinct conceptual pathways. This project, three stories or themes or directions emerged: ignite, rooted hearth, and open frame. These aren't just aesthetics. I want to be clear about that. They are stories about how people will feel in the space. So, a big part of getting that buy in is to actually let the stakeholders understand and feel that early on. The first concept, ignite, felt inevitable. Maybe a little lazy, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, and it's undeniable. It directly ties to the firehouse's history and connects to creativity, energy, and rebirth. Visually, it's ethereal yet dynamic. Think movement, glow, and warmth. Materials like glass, wood, and metal create contrast and energy, echoing the spirit of fire as catalyst for new ideas. The next concept that surfaced was rooted hearth. So this explores heat and connection through a more nostalgic lens. Instead of literal fire, it's about gathering. It's about warmth, storytelling, and belonging. So this theme draws from castlecore and storybook influences, but I reinterpreted it into a more timeless and tactile way. So handmade ceramics, woven textures, rich woods, plaster, layered light, they all evoke that feeling of home. It's a space that honors history through materials and textures, a warm embrace for the community with diverse lived experiences. The third concept is open frame, which serves as a minimalist counterpoint, modular, functional, and flexible. It's designed to adapt to multiple uses, performance, art exhibits, workshops, and gatherings. This concept embraces simplicity and transparency, letting the architecture and future artists shine. It's also a strategic choice, approachable, modern, and easy for diverse stakeholders to envision themselves in. It may not lean too heavily into the building's history, but allows for subtle storytelling through art, color, lighting, and a lot of, like smaller design details and elements. So, step three, once the concepts take shape, I move into presentation mode. So, this is translating everything into a deck. Um, yes, I use Canva. Cue my advertising colleagues cringing. The hands over eyes emoji. But I've built templates that help communicate design ideas clearly and beautifully with my kind of with my branding taking center stage. So I start each concept with a hero image and a short narrative. Then I layer in supporting visuals, textures, and material references. I am ruthless about editing, deleting, refining, and returning to it until the story feels distilled and entirely intentional. For projects like this, the deck becomes more than just a presentation. It's a tool. It sells a vision, it inspires collaborators, and eventually it'll guide tradespeople and artists during construction. It sounds like a really fun and kind of casual piece of creative. It's a very important one to not only sell the vision but to make sure it's being executed in the right ways. So sometimes learning that what a client doesn't respond to is just as valuable as discovering what they love. My goal is to get alignment early to inspire confidence and clarity before the design execution begins. For me, concepting is all about storytelling. It's how a historic firehouse transforms into a living, breathing community hub again, one that celebrates creativity and connection. So, if you're curious to see which concept the team chooses and how it evolves, hit subscribe. I will share updates as the design develops. Also, I'll be sharing more about my design journey and some more behind the scenes on projects and giving tips and tricks of things that kind of show you behind the curtain what this design business is all about. And I want to make it accessible for everyone. So elevating, giving a touch of luxury to your space. This is, if you want anything to do with that, this is for you. Hit subscribe, hit like. I would love to know what you're thinking in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.